Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Daniel with NorCal Water Heaters. Today we're going to be descaling a Rinnai Tankless Water Heater. What I use is a drill with the Phillips head, a small pair of channel locks. You'll want some flow aid or descaling solution of your choice, a sump pump with 2 washer hoses. I use a blue and a red. The blue one I connect to the top of the sump pump. The red one will be connected to the unit and drop back into the bucket. First, what you're going to want to do is remove the cover from the unit. There's 2 screws on the bottom of the unit and 2 latches. And you'll need to remove the 2 screws first. These screws are pretty small. They're easy to lose sight of, so make sure you put them away somewhere where you can find them. Here's me dropping a screw. I'm gonna go ahead and set it aside. And then you have your 2 latches here. You just pull that latch forward, and then you'll be able to release it. The reason why we're taking the cover off is you'll want to get access to the PCB board to put this unit in descale mode. This is the PCB board right here behind this cover. You want to lift this and you have buttons A and B, A on top, B on the bottom. You'll need those again to put it in descale mode. And so what we're going to want to do is hook up the blue hose that's connected to the top of the pump to the service valve on the right side, the blue side. And then you want to get your red hose connected to the hot outlet service valve, and that's just going to drop back into the bucket. And what you're also going to want to make sure is that the bottom paddles are horizontal. That means they're in the off position. You'll need those in the off position when you have this process going. Like so. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use flow aid. The back of the bottle, it says to use 1 quart of flow aid to 4 quarts of clean water, or a gallon. So you'll see me here pouring in the flow aid, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pour in 4 more quarts of water. What I do is I just pull water from the water heater, pour it into the container, and then pour it back into the bucket. You'll see me pouring in 2 quarts in the video. I didn't record all 4. Don't pay too much attention to that, but just make sure you have 1 gallon of clean water to 1 quart of flow aid. That's the mixture you're gonna want. And so I have the cold water inlet on right now. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. I was using that to fill up the containers. Once I have that closed, I'm gonna open up both service valves. So you'll want the hot and cold service valves both open. And what we're doing here is we're creating a closed loop between the bucket and the tankless water heater. Once you have that done, you're gonna go ahead and push button B for about 3 seconds until the screen displays DES. Once you do that, push and hold the A button until it starts blinking. Once it starts blinking, the unit is ready to go into descale mode. As soon as you plug in the pump, the unit will register 1 gallon per minute of flow, and it'll start the countdown. And so this unit will start at 60 minutes and it'll count down. You'll need to have this running for 60 minutes for the unit to register that it was descaled. And so there's just both units for an example. Once you have them running for 60 minutes, the unit will start beeping once it reaches the 60-minute mark, and you'll see RNS on the screen, which stands for rinse. Once you see that, you'll go ahead and disconnect both hoses from the service ports. What I normally do is I disconnect both hoses, and I have a water hose running outside that I use to flush the unit clean for about 5 minutes. Before I do that, I like to remove the pre-filter on the unit, which consists of this little knob. You'll have an O-ring and a screen filter or a mesh filter. And so you're gonna see me reaching in there and pulling out the screen filter and the O-ring. And that's what you're looking for right there. We got a little bit of debris on there, but nothing too bad. And so what I do is I clean that out, put it back together, and then I screw it back into the unit. Make sure you don't lose that O-ring. If you do lose the O-ring, you'll have to get a replacement. The unit will not seal without that O-ring. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect both of the hoses, starting with the blue hose. Once I disconnect that, I'm gonna put the cap back on. And then I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the red hose. But I'm not gonna put the cap back on. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook up the water hose that I have running outside. You wanna run cold water through the unit for 5 minutes to make sure you remove any of the remaining flow aid that's inside the heat exchanger and the waterways. So here's me connecting the water hose, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the hose running outside. And so once you have that connected, I just make sure it's nice and tight. All right, so now that you have the water hose connected, you open up the cold water supply to the unit. And then I'm gonna wanna open up the service valve that's connected to the water hose. And then here's my water hose running outside. There's other ways to do this. I just find the water hose method a little bit easier. I just set a timer on my phone, let it run for 5 minutes. Once that's done, I'll disconnect the water hose and I'll shut that service port and put the cap back on. And then I will open up the hot water outlet. Once you're done, you'll want to make sure the 2 bottom paddles are vertical. That means your cold water supply is on going into the unit and the hot water is on going away from the unit. And then once you have everything done, you're going to hit the power button. You'll get an end. And then you'll hit the power button one more time and it'll display the temperature. And that's how you know you're done descaling your unit. Pretty straightforward. And then you put your lid back on and you're done. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching my video.